You know, when it comes to loyalty, a lot of times people think it's about you or the other guy. To me, I take loyalty like quite personally. If I can't look in the mirror and know that I'm loyal to the people that I love, then how could I ever expect that love back from somebody else? A lot of people, I feel like they look at it like outwardly. I'm loyal to that guy. I think it's much more important to know that you're loyal in your own heart and know that your intentions are pure in your own heart and let your actions speak for those things instead of your mouth. I could go online and say, I'm the most loyal guy on the planet. I don't need to. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know who I'm going to stand behind. And I know who I'm not. And for me, those things will come out through my actions much more than they will ever come out in my words. Loyalty to me is more intrinsic than it is extrinsic. And so it's very, very important to understand who you are, what you're going to stand for, where that line is, and everything else will take care of itself. So loyalty is something that's very, very much inside of an individual. They know whether they're loyal or not. Because the second they're not loyal, they'll start to disappear. They'll start to break contact. They'll start to fade away. The communications lines will start to cut. And that has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with the individual on the other side. Loyalty is something that you take very personally. Not just your relationship with them, but for yourself and who you are. Because your heart knows whether you're doing the right thing or not. Always, 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 always. That's what I truly believe about that particular word, loyalty.
What about ambition?
Ambition's a tricky thing because ambition a lot of times I think is directly linked to what an individual thinks they can do. And that's why it's so important for you to get up and get out of bed and get to work, particularly on your fitness, on your reading and studying and understanding how the world works or how business works. Because people generally will only shoot for things inside the range they think that they're capable of. But if you're constantly training, expanding, and growing, then you start to believe you can do things you thought you couldn't do last year. And then the next year you think you can do even bigger things. And the next year you can do even bigger things. So ambition itself, to me, is when you start to build yourself as an individual, you start to gain confidence and confidence and confidence. And you start reaching further and further and further away from the things that you think you never would have thought to be possible. So ambition is a very interesting thing. A lot of people believe that you're just born with this massive amount of ambition. You know, oh, I'm going to buy all these real estate doors. No, most of the time you believe you're going to buy 1 or 2 rent houses. And then the next thing you know, you understand operating income, net operating income on a big property. Then you understand the debt service. Then you understand how to raise money. And then you understand how to build relationships with people, and all these things start to compound. And then you buy a 64 unit deal out of nowhere and people call you ambitious. I wouldn't say that's ambition. I say that's a young man that trained really, really hard to put himself in a position to do an ambitious thing. And so for that reason, I always push people to do their best to study. There's a such thing called internal growth. A lot of the growth that I had in my life happened when nobody was looking. And it's only now that it looks like I'm buying properties all over the place or taking jet to different countries or doing big podcasts. Most of the growth I had was in the shadows for sure. Nobody saw it. I was in a podunk town in Louisiana doing my best to build my confidence towards ambition. Ambition is a tricky word, and I think people lose sight of that.